Hello and welcome to our it's semi-monthly, right? It's our semi-monthly tarot share here at Serenity and Soul. And today's topic is going to be the houses 10 through 12 in the astrological spread. These are the exterior and transpersonal houses. But before we do that, I just want to remind you of a couple of events that we have here at 400 North Center Street in the Town Mall of Westminster, Maryland, 21157. Tomorrow we're having our very popular Reiki share from 5, where is it? 6 to 7 p.m. And then we are also having tomorrow a winter story time for children from 11 to 12 p.m. So if you are a parent who is at home with your children and you want to have a little fun time with them, come on down to Serenity and Soul tomorrow at 11 a.m. for some story time. Our storyteller, Jenna, is a teacher and she is a very engaging storyteller. Then we also have the Crone Circle on Sunday. That's the 26th. And that's from 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. I will be hosting that along with co-host Tanya Pettit. And we will be doing a wonderful sound adjustment meditation for everyone so that they can get their chakras aligned with the solfeggio. So those are our events for the rest of the month. Now let's get cracking to house number 10 or card number 10 in the astrological spread, and that is the career and reputation house. So when cards come up in this house, it's going to be about career and reputation. This house is the Capricorn house, and it's ruled by Saturn, who is the Lord of Time. And Capricorns are very practical. So what we're looking at here are practical achievements in career, leadership, and basically it will indicate who the breadwinner is if you are doing a family reading or something of that nature. Now, traditionally it is associated with the father. However, because of how things are changing in gender roles these days, it is now the person who embodies these sort of leadership qualities of the family. So it could be a woman, it could be mom, right? So how we view this particular house is going to change based on the societal norms and also on our subconscious beliefs. So be mindful of that. You're the reader, so if you're going to be reading it, make sure that you are either looking at it very clearly as, oh, this is my subconscious belief system, or you may get an intuitive hit that it is the querent or the person you're reading for, their subconscious belief system. So keep that in mind. This also represents the face that your family presents to the world. So maybe if you're looking at a reading that's dealing with the past issues of your childhood, it may be that the card that turns up there indicates how others viewed your family and could give you valuable information about how the family was viewed that maybe you didn't know before. So directly across from the 10th house or the 10th card is the 4th house or the 4th card, which is the Cancer, the house of Cancer, and it is ruled by the moon, and it represents the interior dynamics of home life. So when you read an astrological spread and you're looking at the house, the 10th house, you're going to want to look at the 4th house too, because it's going to give you very important information about the internal and external dynamics of the family of origin. So it'll show you who the nurturer is. It'll show you who the breadwinner is. It'll show you lots of things if you are able to sort of move through your belief systems and the belief systems of your querent to get to the heart of the matter. So I'm going to give you some examples of what might show up in the 10th house and how I would read it. So if the Tower shows up, let's say somebody is asking about their career, it could indicate a layoff. all right? Because the Tower is a sudden shift, a sudden event that sort of pulls the rug out from under you. Now, how it's going to manifest depends on what you're afraid of, because the Tower is the fear card. What are you afraid of? So if you're afraid layoffs are going to happen and the Tower shows up in your career, in reputation, then you're going to learn something you didn't know and that may surprise you. So it could be a layoff. That's not saying that it will be. It could be the dismissal of a coworker that you never would have thought would have been dismissed. It will shock you if the Tower shows up here. So if the King of Pentacles shows up in this particular house or this placement in the spread, it may indicate a pragmatic boss, somebody that you look up to, who knows how everything works and can steer you through some of the interesting dynamics at work. It could also be that you are in line for a promotion and that other people are looking at you and your reputation and going, oh yeah, this is somebody who's very grounded and would be great for a promotion. And then, of course, there's the Three of Pentacles. I look at the Three of Pentacles as sort of the expert card. So if it shows up in your career area of the reading, then you're going to know that you may be consulted as an expert, or it could be that you're going to consult an expert so that you can become better at your career. It could indicate that maybe you are doing some kind of course or will have an opportunity to do a very detailed sort of trade related course. So there are many interpretations that can happen. You want to know what the card means, and then you want to know what that particular area of the spread means. So that's 10. Let's move on to 11. So 11 is the house of communities and groups, and this is the house of Aquarius ruled by Uranus. Now, Uranus is the the planet of upheaval and sudden unexpected things happening. So this house can represent peer groups, volunteer activities, and hobbies that involve others, such as your local pool league. The unexpected may also show up here thanks to Uranus, the planet of shocks and upheavals. And then this could also represent generational trends. Aquarians are quite unique. They are the forerunners, very humanistic, but also very, very eccentric. So generational trends would show up here, especially if your question is about that kind of generational shakeup. Let's just say you ask about your Gen Z child, and right there in that house, it shows you what all Gen Zers are going through. Now, this card placement is directly across from the fifth card or fifth house placement, which is the house of Leo. It is ruled by the sun, and this house represents close friends, family, the dating pool, and children. So you can see that the 11th house represents sort of these more formalized relationships, such as groups and communities, hobby clubs, stuff like that. Maybe you might be on a board. This could also indicate volunteer opportunities, whereas the fifth house is more about family and the people that you choose to be around and the people that, are in your pool of dateable people. So the 11th house represents, like I said, the more formal and more unpredictable aspects of our associations with others. So let's look at some cards. The Three of Cups in this area means that more than likely you have great friendships and maybe even some close friendships in your groups and volunteer activities, communities. The Lovers may indicate that you are faced with the choice. You might have to choose between two groups. You may have to choose between two volunteer opportunities. There may even be a romance brewing in that area, but generally the Lovers is about making a moral choice. So it may be about, hey, you have to pick between two, but Look at your morals and see which group is more aligned with what you want to do. And then, of course, the Two of Swords, which is another choice card, but these choices are, well, the pros and cons of both are equal. That's what the Two of Swords is. So if you're looking at two different groups or two different communities to join, the pros of one are balanced out by the cons of one, and then the pros of that one are balanced by the cons of the original one. So it's sort of like, which one do I choose? I don't know which one to choose. So you might find out which one you should choose when you do more in-depth reading throughout the circle of the astrological spread. And finally, the last one, because we've gone through the first 9 houses. We're doing the 10th, 11th, and 12th now. So this is the last house, and this is the house of karma and fears and purpose. All right, so house 12 is the house of Pisces, and it's ruled by Neptune. So say hello to insecurities, karmic debt, and other nebulous mysteries of life. So this house in a reading will reveal the insecurity that dominates your subconscious thoughts and drives your actions throughout the course of whatever you're asking about. So if you want to know what the root issue is in your reading, in your life, if you're doing a reading about a particular issue and how it shows up in all aspects of your life, that 12th card is going to show you what is subconsciously driving you, right? Because most of our subconscious, actually most of the things that we think and do 95% of the time are subconscious routine things. So the only way that we can change our life is becoming aware of this 95%. And that's where tarot is just amazing, because what it will do is it will tell you a story about what is going on for you in these sort of mythical picture cards. And then what will happen is you will look at that 12th card and you'll be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I had no idea that this was what was driving everything, and this is why it's been so difficult for me to complete this task or to get ahead. So across from that 6th house is the house of Virgo. So that's card 6, and it's ruled by Mercury. So this house directly across from like purpose represents vocation, right? Now, vocation is driven by purpose. And so often when you go to the house of Virgo, where that 6th card is, it also talks about your interactions with people at work, your service, things of that nature. So if your 12th house card is like showing you some bad news about what's been driving you, it might explain why you're having difficulties in the 6th house, because the house directly across from a house, right? So if you look at them directly, the opposition, right? It tells you a lot about the interior of a problem or a particular type of thing. And then on the other side, it'll show you the exterior issues that are coming with it. So the 12th house represents the big picture, while the 6th house shows you sort of the details and analysis, the service orientation. So 12th house is purpose and karma. 6th house is service and vocation. So let's take a look at a couple of cards in the 12th house. So 7 of Pentacles is one of the cards that was selected. And when you see that in the 12th house, it means that this is a time to step back and analyze and look at what's going on as far as career, physical health, all of those things. This is a time to step back and reevaluate. The 7 of Pentacles is about checking your harvest, making sure that, you know, if there's a correction that needs to be made, it can be made. So when the 7 of Pentacles shows up in the 12th house, it indicates that a review needs to be done, and any corrections that need to take place should be taking place. All right, 8 of Wands. Okay. Eight of Wands in the 12th house is just crazy, crazy. Eight of Wands, when you look at the traditional Rider-Waite, it's just these wands going swiftly through the air. So this means that everything that's going on karmically, the big picture wise, as far as your purpose, everything's moving so fast. And you may, have some trouble trying to like keep up with it all. So when you see a card of that, like significant energy, it means potentially a lot of people are coming at you with ideas, with offers. They might be coming at you depending on the orientation, because if it's upside down, it means they're coming at you and they're not happy, right? But the Eight of Wands is just about a lot of energy coming in right into that 12th house of karma and purpose. So you may, when all is said and done, you may just have to roll with it, but when all is said and done, you may have a very clear path forward as far as what needs to be dealt with karmically, what your purpose is. And then finally, a major arcana, the Chariot in this area, would indicate that there are subconscious impulses that need to be brought into alignment. So the Chariot is about harnessing the dark and the light within our personality, our shadow and our sort of ego. And so going back and forth, because when you have two animals, right, or impulses that are hitched up to a chariot, you can't have them running at different paces, because that's absolute madness, right? Your cart will tip over, you'll go tumbling over tea kettle, and you don't want that. That's usually when, if you lose control, it could be that you become a doormat, or it could be that you become incredibly aggressive. And well, neither one of those is good, right? So in your karma, you want to sort of regulate, your subconscious impulses. And so you might want to ask deeper questions when you see the Chariot of which impulses are running amok. Or you might sit back and you go, well, I feel like I have my impulses moving, at the same pace. They're in alignment with each other, which means that instead of sabotaging me, they're actually helping me. So those are the cards for the astrological spread in the 10th through the 12th houses. When we come back, which will be the first Tuesday of February, we're going to start talking about Kabbalah, okay? And this is going to be an entire year's worth of Tarot Share Lives, where we'll start out with the four worlds, the four suits, and we will then move into each of the Sephira, and then we will move into each of the paths. So it's like 32 paths altogether, 10 Sephira, and 22 paths. Then the tarot cards fall on the paths, the 22 paths, whereas the cards of each of the suits falls on each of the Sephira. So it's going to be interesting. I hope you come and enjoy the little bits of information I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you good books to read, and I'm going to help you connect the Kabbalah to the Tarot as it was intended to be, and we'll have a good time. So come see us tomorrow for Reiki Share. If you have small children and you're home with them, come see us for Winter Story Time at 11 a.m. And then, of course, we have the Crone Circle. Now, the Crone Circle is not closed to women just because they haven't gone into menopause or anything. This is also intended to help women prepare for menopause so that they know what to expect. They have places to share their stories, and they get great information about how to take care of themselves. And that's on the 26th at 4:30 p.m. So that's a nice Sunday class. We hope to see you. If we don't see you at any of the events, we sure do hope we see you at the store across the way here in the Town Mall of Westminster. We're Serenity and Soul at 400 North Center Street in the Town Mall of Westminster, Maryland 21157. Stay warm and stay safe. Namaste.